As the big brain YouTube man that I am known as, I am bringing you a Vegapunk video. Now, Vegapunk is obviously a very important deck list on this channel, and one we've always worked on and haven't really touched since OP11 came around. I'm excited to bring you this deck list and tell you a little bit more on how we can combat the current meta and continue on with this leader. Is Vegapunk in the best place? Is it in like the EBO2 place where it was kind of really hard to figure out how to beat him, and you could really power through and be a really skilled pilot and just win games? Absolutely not. It's not that same way at all. It's actually really tough with blue purple Luffy being around. It's a hard matchup for us, though. We do spam out a lot of 6k bodies to go aggressive. It's not the worst matchup. I'm not sitting here saying it's miserable, but with a lot of decks right now, with the new 8-drop Katakuri, it puts them in a really good spot. All of these purple decks in general who can ramp up and drop big bodies by the time we've put a lot of cards on the board but have no hand at all, it puts us really behind. So I'm excited to see how we can do today. I'm really just trying to pilot this in a very rush aggro side of things where we can kind of destroy our opponent before things develop that way and seeing if that works. Now, if this doesn't work, we may have to go back into a top end heavy kind of Vegapunk in the current format, but that's something we're gonna have to find out after we tech test and theory craft in this video. And as I said, here is that list we were just talking about. Obviously, Vegapunk cannot attack, and you just add 1/5 cost to from your hand to the top of your life or onto the board, which is really strong. It's 5 cost Egghead, specifically Egghead. Now we have Lilith to look at the top 5, Edison to draw 2, Trash 2, Frankie to just draw a card as a trigger, and then if you have one less life, play this card. All of these are really relied on triggers, you know, popping out a life or having an activate main, like KOing a 4 cost character, or on play, you know, KO a 5 cost or whatever, stop a 6 cost from attacking other than Luffy, or on KO if you have 2 or less life, play 1 Egghead from your trash as rested. Like, there's a lot of strong effects. Obviously, the strongest being the new Vegapunk that we just got from EBO2. Look at the top 5 and play 1 scientist type card other than Vegapunk. Then if your opponent has 2 or less characters, draw or discard 1 card. So those are the basics of any Vegapunk deck. You know, a very aggressive list here with all of the cards doing the card things. Atlas being very strong because it can't be KO'd in battle. Dorishi or Dorishi and Please Save Me or Rayquaza Help, whatever you want to call it. Rayquaza. If you have 2 or less life, yeah, get plus 3,000. All in all. But the trigger of playing 1 5 cost or lower Egghead is actually insane. And then Dorishi drawing 2 cards with trigger is very good as well. The thing that we've added that's way different than any other list before this is Charlotte Katakuri. Add 1 card, or look at up to 1 card from the top of your life area or your opponent's life area. Put it on either the top or bottom of the life area. Then, if you have less life cards than your opponent, this card gains Rush. Now, we're used to playing this right here, this ace, just saying if you have 2 or less life, this card gains Rush. But we run this card as a 2 of. Now we've bumped it up to a 4 of, and I would love to see more. So we're going to take this Katakuri, which has a counterpart, a strong counterpart, that you could be playing instead in the Zoro, the 3 cost 5k Zoro, that basically just reads, if your total life is fewer than your opponent's, this card gains Rush. It's a constant check for Rush. It's not an on-play, and it's really good, especially into the Blackbeard decks. But we already do pretty solid into Blackbeard, I'm not going to lie to you. So for me, I'm not too worried about the on-play. I think this card's strong already, and just giving us that extra ability to at least do something, you know, look at the top of our life or our opponent's life, switch it around, do what we need to. I really like that. I'm not going to lie to you. So same stat line, a 3-5 versus a 4-6 and a 5-7. All of these are the vanilla stat lines we're looking for. So a 3-5, a 3 cost with 5,000 is 2,000 higher than the cost, you know? So it's the same thing here, 2,000 higher and 2,000 higher than the cost. Very strong rush options in the deck, and we're deciding to run 6 and just see what happens. I'm excited to bring some more Vegapunk and give you these matchups, these breakdowns, and see what we can do. And to start, we need to play against the big bad blue purple in the first place, obviously taken first from our opponent. We have a little bit of removal in case they play the Zoro. We're going to keep this hand all day, every day, baby. We have options. We're going to go and deploy the Monkey D. Luffy and pass to our opponent. They're going to go to Tudon and be a little bit behind, and we're okay with that. We're feeling good about that. We're going to swing in for, 7. We're going to play a Searcher because we need to look up for, we need to find a 2K here for what our opponent is about to do to us. So we're going to play out Lilith. We're going to swing in for 7 at our opponent. We should have swung 8. I don't know why I swung 7. Freaking misclicks, man. Well, they might counter out. Maybe we want them to counter out. Hey, maybe I just want to get 1 card out of hand, you know? Maybe that's just what I'm looking to do. Yeah, no, we should have definitely swung 8. I don't know what I do. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a new player, you know? Never played Vegapunk in my life. Who would know that I play Vegapunk? Yeah, we should have freaking swung 8. I'm so mad at myself for that. We're going to look for a 2K counter here because we kind of need one. I would love to grab that Shaka, but just not going to work because our opponent is going to swing 7 into Luffy and then ramp 1 Dawn. They could also Bon Clay and then swing 7, but no matter what, they are going to swing 7 into Luffy, which is why we found this 2K to save the Luffy and keep it going. I know, very specific. Look at that. Now we get to swing in for 6 at our opponent. We're going to do a bunch of small swings and see how we can do. We're going to be able to pop the Luffy here, so we can swing in for another 6 at our opponent. We're going to Darishi, Shi, and Nami. So what we could do, I mean, instead of popping the Luffy here, we could technically just deploy the Nami, discard the S-Snake, pop the Zoroark, and draw a card. Now we can Darishi, grab Shaka and Rayquaza, and then pass to our opponent. I think that was pretty good right there. Better than popping the Luffy and losing a card on board. Now when they swing, being at 6 Dawn, I think we're able to go 9 into probably the Lilith here. I mean, they could go into the Luffy. It makes me really want to save this. I ain't gonna lie to you. 2-1-1. But it would be very unwise. Popping this Luffy, I mean, going ahead and popping the Bon Clay would be very nice. It would be very nice, which is maybe why we should have done that earlier. But hey, it is what it is. We're gonna let that go. We are gonna let that go. We're gonna tap 3. We're gonna look at the top 5. We're gonna grab... It's hard to decide here. I'm not gonna lie to you. Grab another Rayquaza. We're gonna go 6 into our opponent. And then 6 more into our opponent. We're really just trying to burn a lot of cards out of our opponent's hand. They're at 7 total. We're going to go ahead and deploy a blocker and then pass to our opponent. We have 1 Dawn for one of these Rayquazas, so we're sitting on about 6K counter. 3, 2, 1. Pretty good. Pretty good right there. We have a 5-7 rush option into this deck, and we're putting on the pressure. I think the big thing here would be the 8 from earlier. They would be on 0 life. They would legitimately be on 0 life. Now, they could 9 land, allow us to gain a life, but then we can trigger stuff out. The best thing they could do is actually give us the Nami into our life because it doesn't trigger out of life. It just KOs a character. They just put it on the bottom of life. They probably won't have this Bentham by the time they actually swing. So that's what I would say to do. Just put the Nami into life and then swing and swing. They give us the Shaka at the bottom, which, I mean, can still make sense. I'm not going to sit here and say that's a bad play or anything. But now our opponent's only swinging 5 and a 5. We can give them a 1K. They're going to swing 6, and we're going to go ahead and go 2K counter out of that attack. And we've got options. You know that's my favorite little catchphrase right there. So we're going to go 5 into that. We're going to go 5 7s. That's going to be 5. We need 1 total Dawn to possibly gain a life. So that leaves us 3 additional Dawns, so we can go 6, 6, 6, 8, which I don't think is horrible. We don't have to gain a life either. That's the worst part. But this doesn't do anything on play, so I'm definitely not against gaining a life here. Really just trying to burn cards out of our opponent's hand. We're going to go 5, and then it doesn't have rush because we have too much life because they made us gain a life. Add a card to the top of our life, and then we're going to pass. Now, we have no resources in hand, no board, and if they play a rush option, we lose 3 cards on the board. So it would have been nice to play the Edison, but we're just not in the spot to. We're going to put our opponent in the position where they have to go for lethal. But the thing is, they can continue to 9 land over and over and over again. So, kind of annoying. They can continue to gain life, draw cards, play blockers, and it puts us in just a really bad spot. So, not too much we can do here. Not too much we can do here. They're going to 9 Sanji into 9 land. They're going to make us gain the ace into life, and then they're going to go 7 and 9. We're going to be able to counter out of the swing with the Luffy. Would be nice to have 1 more body on the board. They're going to have 2 life, though. Discard the Bentham. Yep, they put the ace into life. So we don't have to worry about gaining into life. We are going to 2K out of this, and then take the 9 land just wherever they want to hit it. We'll let that go, and then boom. Now we have swings, Darishi to gain cards in the hand. We're going to go with Rayquaza, does absolutely nothing. So we're going to have to go with bodies here, because Vegapunk won't do anything for a good while, so we're going to have to just add 2 of those bodies on the board to continue our aggression. So we only need 1 Dawn to play a character, so we can just go 8 and 8. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're only going to play 1 character next turn, which sucks, but it is what it is. We don't need Rayquaza. We'll have a Luffy on the board, and yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I wish S-Snake did something for me. I wish you did something, but you don't. They're going to counter out of that, telling me they do not have a Gum Gum Giant or anything. Would have been nice to play down both bodies, maybe go 6 and 6, but they could have obviously countered both of those because they had 2 and a 1. We knew they at least had the 2K. They grab a Frenosuke from the top of their deck. That is going to be a rush option. And now they're just going to remove board and then just not hit us, which is smart. It's a good thing. Good plays from our opponent. Because if you hit me, give me a Rayquaza. It's pretty good. You can have that. Hit me again. Yep, you can have that. They know they're going to clear the board. They should not hit us after that, because that's when we start popping off. That's when I'm going to Vegapunk into, you know, another card, into this, into that, into whatever. They hit us right here. It is the incorrect play. This is the life of a Vegapunk. I have to put you in a position that you don't want to be put in, and it puts us in a good position. What? 10 drop Kaido? Is that actually real? That is actually insane. We're going to deploy an S-Snake just in case. Can't do anything. We're just going to pass here with 4 Dawn active because we have Rayquaza in hand and Rayquaza in life. Obviously, we're going to use those as triggers. 10 drop Kaido? We have 5 life. They have 5 attacks, so we're perfectly safe here. Even if they had 6 life, if they don't have removal every turn, we're a blocker on the board. We're very safe. They reveal a Sanji 2K counter. Man, this is obnoxious. That was actually insane. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of mad about it. Kind of pissed. And the worst part is they always have the ability to use Gum Gum Giant. So if they're just drawing into several Gum Gum Giants over and over and over again, they could swing all out and then still not lose, even if we get a full board here. So it's like, use the trigger. We're going to pop out a Vegapunk? I think Vegapunk's the best option. Look at the top of the deck. We're going to put out a Lilith. We're going to be able to draw a card, which will be in case we need to counter maybe. Because it could go 9-drop Rush Luffy here, right? No, because we have a blocker. So they'd have to remove the blocker. They could go 9 Lin, gain a life, remove the Vegapunk. And then they just don't lose after that because how many cards they have in hand. They did just draw a 2K counter. I think we have to go with Shaka here. I think that's the best option. 9 Lin, we're going to take. We're going to use the trigger. We're going to put out I think we just put a 6K. Just have more power on the board. I think we're just going to put out a 6K. We're going to block this next attack just in case because we're going to get another trigger out of life. Now we just block because it's free. They're gonna swing 9. Might as well. We're gonna add the freaking maybe we add the Vegapunk. No, because we're gonna be able to play that out of our life. We're gonna have the 2K counter. I think that's when we have the 2K counter. They're gonna hit us for 12. We're gonna take. Just gonna play it out anyways. Might as well. I mean, we could have just added it to hand, but we're gonna have to go all out this next turn. They have 9 Dawn. They're gonna go blocker pass. That's gonna be a 6K, so we can't do anything about it really. So what do you do in a situation like this? Let's be real. What do you do? I think we just go a bunch of 7s. That'd be 7, 7, 7, 7, 7 7s. That's 4 7s, 2 7s, 9, 9. That would burn a lot of cards from our opponent's hand, but they have 4 total freaking Dawn. That's just a gear 2, a gear 2, a gear 2, a gear 2. Do we just go a bunch of 6s? How do we not lose? That would have to be 5 and then 1 to not lose and leave the blocker up. So it'd be these attacks here. So it would be 6, 6, 7, 7. And even then, we're not guaranteed not to lose. We would need to hit another Shaka off the top, and I think we have a very low statistical likelihood of hitting another Shaka. But I think this is the only way we can do it and not lose, because there's no way we get game. Let's just swing 6 and decide. We're in a really weird spot here. We're in a very weird spot, because they have a blocker, 4 Dawn, and a life. Now, we saw earlier they didn't have Gum Gum Giant, but they did draw 15 through 15 cards. So the likelihood they have Gum Gum Giant is very, very high. They know what they can draw into as well because they did stack the top of their life. And this is where the matchup gets very difficult here. Because look at this board. Look at this board. What are you supposed to do to this? What are we supposed to do? Let's go another 6 in a face. I really think this is just what we're doing. We get the 2K. So we knew they had 2 2Ks. Let's go 5 and 1. Let's go 8 in the face. Now see what they do. See if they give us a 1-cost event. Yep, they do have a Gum Gum Giant. Discard 1, draw 2 cards. They know what they're drawing. There's no way to win now. So we're going to have to go 7 at life. There was no way to win in the first place, though. In case you couldn't tell, 2 2Ks, a Gum Gum Giant, and another Gum Gum Giant. Now we go pop, choose no card, draw. There's the other freaking Shaka we needed. Pop, choose no card, draw. We're going to go tap 5, add 1 card to the top of our life, and then we're going to pass the game. So we know it's impossible for Vegapunk to add a Shaka into our life. We could go for a Lilith to draw an additional card. We have no active Dawn, so another Rayquaza would not help us. 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. I think you can see where this wraps up. We have 2 life, so they would have to hit. This is still not over, don't get me wrong, because we have, 3 blockers on the board. And they do have their 8 Dawn, but I don't think they didn't start at 8 Dawn, so they didn't get to choose what they drew. So we block, take, block, so that's 3 life, 4 life, 5 life, and then we have to get out of 1 attack. Dude, we could actually maybe possibly not lose this, but we have to do this very precisely, because we have to have enough attacks on the board. That's the issue. 2, 2, oh man. So we go ahead and take, use the trigger. We're going to play out the Vegapunk. Damn, we didn't hit a Lilith. We hit an Atlas. Atlas is okay, but it's not. We really need a Lilith for this. Because now, how's their split? Because they'd have to leave this blocker active. They're going to save this for last like we did. So they're going to go, that's 9, 11, 11, 12. So they could go 10, 10. Yeah. So they're going to go 10, 10, 12, 12, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be 7k. But if we counter out too early, they Uso Hachi one of the blockers. So we can get 212. But so we go ahead and block, counter. We have to counter a 10. So if they go 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But they could go 11, 11, right? And that would take every card in our hand. We guarantee lose to Sanji. So we have to counter this. 2, 2, 1, 1. We had to counter that. That's the only issue. Ugh. The issue is Uso Hachi. If they have one Uso Hachi in hand, we do just lose. This is very precise gameplay here. The issue is we had to counter that or we would have lost every card in our hand from the 10. Because if they would have gone 11, we just lose. They go 8. That still leaves them plenty of Dawn for Uso Hachi, and then they go 8 and 12. So that tells me they're going to Uso Hachi here. So again, doesn't matter because we have 0 counter here. They were going to Uso Hachi no matter what. If we block out of that attack, they just Uso Hachi and then swing 15 with Kaido and just end the game. We need to keep somewhat of a board here. They're going to finish it off with the Sanji, it looks like. They could, I mean, do they have a way to play? They could play on another Sanji, actually. We don't have a way to interact with the 6 cost. And then leave 2 non-active? That's crazy. What? Well, we know we have to go for game this time. So we've seen 2 Gum Gum Giants. We're going to go 9, 9, 10. That's all we have. And we just have to hope. If we lose, we lose. I mean, there's not too much we can do now. We're going to go another 9. If they can counter 1, we just lose. They have 2 2Ks or 1 Gum Gum Giant. Like, this is why this matchup is so hard in this kind of format. We won? Are you kidding me? Yo! That was actually the craziest game of my life. That was actually insane that we just won that. Holy cow, dude. That's the big thing about Blue Purple is they can brick up. This guy was a very good player too. All they needed there was just an Uso Hachi to have the out. And I think we saw them. No, they were grabbing for Nosuke's like crazy. They had 2 Uso Hachis early. Maybe if we swung that 8 in the very beginning instead of the 7, we finished that off so much easier. But at the end of the day, that is a very tough matchup, and that is why Vegapunk is not as meta as it used to be. I mean, honestly, guys, you can see it right there. That was a really, really tough fought match. And we're playing Vegapunk into the new decks. The new decks, the new generation, and we're going to keep this hand all the way. Hey. Trying to go out the window. Why is my cat trying to go out the window? We're going to deploy Atlas early and pass because they can't KO it, which is very nice. They're going to be on 2 Dawn. We're going to play this Monkey D. Luffy on our next turn because of the 3-drop pudding. We're going to get rid of that ASAP. We need to find a Nami sometime soon to get rid of Parasparrow. They don't have any way to up their cost, which is very nice. Very good, very good, very nice. They grab a Linlin, a 9-drop Linlin. That card is pretty good. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's pretty good. We're going to swing 8 at your face. They're going to take that, obviously. I mean, like, if you don't, I'd be a little surprised. I'd be a little amazed here. I think we don't do horrible into Katakuri. I'm not going to lie. You know it's Vegapunk time. You know I'm feeling good about it. Tizzy, stop biting my toes. And my nose is itchy. I got that mustache tickle. We're going to deploy the Monkey D. Luffy for the 3-drop pudding in case they decide to play it. Telling me they probably have it in hand already because of how they're playing. And they grab a 10 Lin right there. They do reveal the pudding here. They're going to swing 6, go Dawn -1. We are going to take. We're going to take and deploy this card very aggressively here. Now we are able to, we don't really have much to do. We're going to have to swing the 6 and then KO the pudding and draw a card. See what we can do after that because we don't have much going on right now, guys. We're going to pop the pudding, draw. Oh my gosh. 6. They're going to go Parasparrow. They're going to swing in again. What do we do here? What do we do here? We have the S-Snake for the pudding, for the Parasparrow, I mean. So we could just play 2 bodies out. We're going to swing 6 and 6 at our opponent. We're going to play out Frankie, but then Pythagoras has absolutely no ability on KO because we can't put the Frankie in the trash to KO. Oh, come here. Our opponent gives us a Tizzy. Now we're going to swing. I think we're going to do another 6. This is hard to say. I think we're going to go with the Frankie here. I'm not saying it's the best play, but I think it's an option for sure. And then we'll go ahead and add to the top of our life the Rayquaza and pass. So our opponent's going to be able to go 7 into Atlas or into Pythagoras. We're just going to lose him. I'm just going to be real with you. We just lose him at that point. Nothing we can do about it. Don't have a 2K in hand. Put the 2K on the board. We're going to lose a Pythagoras. No ability. It's miserable. It's hard out here in the streets. It hurts. Hurts so bad. We're going to let that go. Choose no targets because we did not counter with the Frankie. We could have had the Frankie to counter out and then, you know, do our thing. But it is what it is. We're going to get a third Vegapunk here. That's absolutely horrible. Horrible. So we're going to be on 7 Dawn. We're going to have 5 and 1. So we can go 6 and 6. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go 6, 6, 7 possibly. I'm definitely not against it. A lot of pressure here. Our opponent's going to be on 6 Dawn. They took that one, which is wild. We're going to go another 6 at our opponent. I just putting on the pressure, forcing out some 2K counters. I wish we had something to rip out of their hand. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, we have 3 freaking Vegapunks right now. We have a long game ahead of us if we need it. If we need a long game, we got a long game. We're going to go 7 at face now. Probably get this last life. If we do, they're going to go 8-drop Katakuri on this next turn. We're going to stop the Paraspero from attacking. We need to get out of a 6K attack, or we can take a 6K attack. Deploy a card, deploy S-Snake, stop Paraspero, pass. So they only have 1 attack. We're going to have all of these attacks and this attack and an Egghead Vegapunk blocker coming down. Then they're going to go Tinlin. They're going to become a 7K leader. That's where it starts to get really obnoxious. 6 in a Frankie. If they go 6 in Atlas, that ain't going to work. You always go into the smaller body here because I'm going to counter out of that every single time. This is hard. Guys, this is hard. But they're not going to be able to Tinlin next turn. They're going to be able to ramp an Active Dawn, which is nice. They could have us on 7 in the Atlas. Maybe that would have been a better play because they do use the Paraspero effect. Discard 1, draw 1. They drop the Tinlin. We did see them grab earlier, and they put down an Anane. Anane going to be very, very annoying here. Well, we could just S-Snake and Vegapunk. That would be, what, 5 and 1 again, so we have 3 extra Dawn. Let's just get a lot of cards out of hand. We don't have to go for the game. We do not need to go for the Gusto here, but that means we should have let the Atlas go if we weren't going for the Gusto. They're going to Dawn -1 and then 1K. Weird. They must not have a lot of counter. It must just be the strength of us getting these 2Ks. We're going to go 6 again. If they block, dude, we're cooking. So what, 5-1 is 2-1, right? So we can go 6 again. We're just trying to force out a bunch of 2Ks right now. See? Because they did have it. And then we're going to go 9. Wild, I know. 9, because now it forces them to not use this. Go ahead and get rid of the chump blocker. Paraspero. Deploy a card over this guy. Put out a, I guess Shaka. We could go Lilith. We just put out another blocker. Like, it's not going to hurt. Now we got a bunch of active cards. They can't just like starve us out. We have active characters to swing in next turn. They could go another 8-drop. They could go a 10-drop rush. That would put us in a bad spot. 10-drop rush would put us in a pretty bad spot. We'll let it go and see what we do. We'll see what we do to do what they do. They go 9 Lin. Okay, that's cool with me. They're going to remove our S-Snake. Oh, Shaka is not the right choice. I think you get rid of S-Snake every day there because S-Snake just has an activate main while Shaka just plays out as a blocker. So now you're forced to play around our blocker. When if you would just put S-Snake and then hit me, it's like, meh, I'm not going to use the trigger. They get another 8-drop Katakuri. They have the 9 land, they gain 1 life. 6 here, and then they have 8. So we could actually just counter 1 and then block if we really wanted to here. And we have 10 Dawn. We have plenty of Dawn to use. We just gain a life. They only have 1 blocker. Let's just go, what, 9, 9, 9. So 9, 10, 10. Let's go 9 and see what they decide to do. And then it's like, now make your choice. Because 9 would be 3 cards out of hand. Now we go 10, and then if they can counter this, I mean, it's going to be a bunch of cards. The reason we went 10 is because they have the Dawn -1 to get plus 1,000, which then would, you know, now it would be 2K, 2K, 1K, or it would have been 3 2Ks. So now it's 2K, 2K, 1K. They have all of the counter they always need. The question is, do we lose? 1, 2, 3, 2 blockers? No. So we're just going to go another 9 at face. I would love to go 10 here. Do we need to put another body on the board? Yes, we do, because if not, we do just lose. But then we don't win with the Katakuri anyways, or thanks to the Katakuri. So do we just develop the Edison and pass? Because then we have 2 active bodies. They would have to get a blocker on the board. I think that's the best way, actually. Deploy a card, Edison, and then pass. Because if we swing 9 here, they can go KO, 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 block the Edison attack, and we have no other attack unless we possibly maybe get a 5-drop ace, which wouldn't even have rush in that situation. So that was probably our best method just to clear up the board because they're not going to hit us here. They're going to go another 8-drop Katakuri, which is going to force out the 8-drop Katakuri and the Anane. So now we can continue to develop the board as they continue to develop the board, but we can continue to develop life as well. Hitting us is possibly incorrect in my opinion. We just use the trigger, and then do we just develop the Luffy here? Well, there's probably not an idiot because an idiot would just block out first with the Anane. We get the most value right now out of Vegapunk, but not guaranteed. S-Snake would stop Paraspero until the end of your opponent's next turn, but they're about to end their turn. So I think we go Vegapunk. I think it's the only card that gets us the most value, but Luffy would be nice. But they would really have to misplay. But it gets us card draw. I think Luffy's actually the best here. If they hit us again, they just lose. Hey, you can't hit me. Bro, you are so lucky it's stupid. You are so lucky it's stupid. If that would have been a trigger out of life, they would have just lost, right? Interessante. Interessante. 8. I think we just go 8, 8, 6. No, I think we just go 8, 8. Just watch. 8. This is going to be done very precisely. Now we pop it to draw a card first. Draw a card. Okay, we get a Rayquaza here. That's really good. We're going to go 8. Because we're trying to force out one of these Katakuri blockers and get the KO. Because if they block and counter, it puts them in a bad spot if we were to have some kind of rush. But what we can do instead is Rishi, draw 2. We need a way to not lose, basically. 8 and get rid of the blocker. That's perfect. They would get a free block here. That's not worth it. Well, could we, if we go 10, right? And we just develop the Darishi, we go take, blocker, blocker. So then we just don't lose, right? No, take, block. We would be safe. But then we don't have a board, so then they just pass after that. But then we're still safe from Darishi. So I think that's the best option, actually, is swing 10, force out the Katakuri. They go KO, pass. Or they go KO, develop body, pass. And even if they have rush after that, they still lose. But then we get to develop the board with Darishi and kind of get our value back while they're at the end of the ropes. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Dude, this deck is so precise. It's going to put you in a weird spot. But this puts them in a position to have to force this out in case they were trying to bait us with the 2K. And then we just gain 1 life. Boom, add a top of life. Please save me. Pass. So now they're going to go remove. That's going to be 2 of their attacks. They can't hit us in the face or they do just lose unless they somehow top deck 8-drop Katakuri. Now they could have already had 8-drop Katakuri, of course, in hand. But I think in this position, I mean, hit me, that's trigger. Even if they had a 10 drop like Lin, they would still lose in this position. Maybe, yeah, see, now they're going to go board, which is going to be the best bet here. They're going to go 10 Lin with rush. They're going to swing in, KO the body. And now is where we go Darishi and then draw cards. So we get our value back. We're not going to have a board at the moment, but I think this should basically settle the game. They get to look that we're going to get a 5-drop Nami. We're going to go Darishi, Nami, KO Parasparrow, draw. Okay, we have so many options. Holy cow. Incorrect. 100% incorrect. I don't know what you just fumbled. Like, legitimately, you just fumbled. We're going to go, I don't think it really matters what, but I mean, I guess we can go S-Snake and just stop. I mean, it don't matter. We're going to get rid of it anyways. But now you just lose. Legitimately just lose. Like, that was such a good match, and then they fumbled. GG's. What we're going to do there is actually drop the Nami, KO the Parasparrow. I think maybe they thought they had extra Dawn for the Usohachi, which they would have been in a really good position with that Usohachi in the next attacks. Because we were going to go Nami, discard, or we're going to Darishi, look at the top 5, grab 2 cards, grab a 2K and something with trigger, and then we're going to KO the Parasparrow. Then we were going to Darishi again, look for 2 more cards. We're in 4 cards in hand. And then we have 1 blocker, we're going to gain a life, we have the Nami, so then we could swing in, force out this card, which would have forced out the Usohachi. Yeah, we were going to be in a really good position. I think they just shouldn't have attacked us. They legitimately shouldn't have attacked us there, though, because the S-Snake. Like, giving us that S-Snake just guaranteed the win. Hey, GG's, on to the next game. It's hard to beat Vegapunk, guys. If you're going against a good Vegapunk player like this guy, you can't beat me. Well, I mean, you actually can. I've been beaten plenty of times. But, hey, that was a good match. At the end of the day, that was a really good match. It was long, grindy, and we ended up getting it. I'm happy. We're going to take on your best deck in format, the one that everybody's been talking about. We're going to look in that hand, and I'm feeling good about it. Let me tell you, I'm feeling good about it. I think we're going to do pretty solid into Buggy, a lot better than people really expect. I mean, I'm just saying, there's potential. There's potential. We're going to start with just developing a body on the board. We're going to get a Shaka and pass. Pretty simple. Our opponent's going to want to swing possibly 8, maybe 9 on the second turn. But now they have 4 drops to place. They're probably just going to swing 5 in the face. We're going to take trigger out of body and continue the game on that way. So I think we're going to be in a pretty good spot. They're going to cross guild, grab Mr. 3. Mr. 3, they're going to play Mr. 3, search the top 4, grab another cross guild type, filtering through 8 cards in deck already. Pretty strong start there for our Buggy friend. Obviously, we're a Buggy player, so we're going to be able to out-Buggy the Buggy here. And that's the big goal. The big goal here is just to do better than this guy. We have a removal. The big issue here is going to be 8-drop Croc. They're going to force them to discard cards, which forces us to discard cards. But S-Snake is going to be clutch. They grab Draco Mihawk, so now the next turn they could go into 4-drop, whatchamacallit? Yeah, yep, that card. And yeah, I think we're going to swing We're gonna have to develop a Frankie, which is kind of miserable, but I want to keep my removal. I don't want to Dareshi, like draw 2 cards. That's a waste. Not getting a body on the board is just a loss. It really is just a loss, because then they just go 9 to Shaka and we just do nothing on the next turn, which doesn't sound good. Does not sound good. So I'd rather hit for 8, see what our opponent does. This is a good matchup for the Jewelry Bonnie, which we do not play anymore. I think the Jewelry Bonnie is a bait card. At least in the last format, it definitely was. Definitely was a bait card. 8, they take 7. Now they play out 4 for a Buggy. They're going to play out Buggy to play out Mihawk and go back down to 5 cards in hand, which is going to be really good for what we want to do. They're going to hit us for 5, which we're going to take, trigger out a body. We're going to play out S-Snake, stop the Mihawk from attacking. Fingers crossed that's what they do. Now, they could just Alvita, draw 3, trash 2, filter through the hand, do what you do what you like to do, how you do it. I don't think S-Snake is going to be as strong into the Mihawk if they're not playing it out to swing in, which I think is what they would have done in the other situation that I was hoping for. But obviously they didn't. So what we can do is see what we draw. I think that's going to be the big question here is what do we freaking draw? So we can tap 1, discard Nami, and then pop Alvita, just go ahead and get the 5 cost. Obviously, it's not a 5 cost yet, but get it off the board. They're going to hit us. We're going to take, trigger, and draw a card. Sure. I ain't going to be mad about it. I ain't going to be mad about it. S-Snake's pretty good, man. I just really like this card. I think this card is going to be undervalued in this matchup. Well, now that we have 6 cards, we don't get any filter off the Nami anyways. So, I mean, there's not really an option other than Dareshi first, then decide what we're going to discard. Could go with a 2K would be nice, and I don't think getting a blocker for later would be horrible. So we're going to do both of those. We're going to then tap, we're going to swing for 5. They don't have any rush in this deck. They could be playing the 7-drop Borsalino to bottom deck a 7 cost, I think, or a 4 cost or 5 cost or some weird number. I don't really know. We're going to hit them a bunch though. So, hey, get your counter ready, Buggy. Get your counter ready, get your bread up, and get your head up. They discarded 2 cards, so a Cross Guild and a Mihawk. Interesting. I'm not going to stop hitting. I'm not even worried about the Shaka. We know we're going to KO this Alvita. So we're good there. We're good on that front. We have removal. We have rush. I'm feeling good like I would. It's going to force out 2K counters. So we're going to get some of those chump blockers out of the way now and continue this game on. Maybe Vegapunk is the deck of the format people are not playing and they're sleeping on. I'm ready to just keep this rolling. Feeling good. Kabaji and Emoji. Now we're going to deploy a card. We're going to deploy Nami, discard. I think we just get rid of the 2K. No, we're gonna get rid of Vegapunk here. Go ahead and get removal while we can, while they don't have the 8-drop Croc out. This 8-drop Croc right here that just says draw 2, trash 1 on play, and then play out a cost 4 or less, and then once per turn, if a Cross Guild type would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, trash 1 card instead. So we're getting our removal in now. Then we use the S-Snake for the later part of the game where we can stop attacks, stop aggression. It's gonna be really good for us. They're gonna be able to go 6 into a character. We give them a Frankie here. That's why we kept the 2K counter to keep our board alive. We can easily gain life with the Rayquaza and set up for later. You know, we have the Frankie now. They're going to have a wide board here of at least 3 characters because they're going to play an 8-drop Croc into a 4-drop Buggy or Alvita. We're going to use S-Snake to stop their character from being able to attack us, which is really nice to keep our board nice and strong. We also have the Ace as an option next turn to go 5, and then, so we go 5, 5, 6, 5. So a bunch of 5s, a 6, an S-Snake to stop the Mihawk, and a Rush Ace to attack in for 7. So we could go 5, 5, 5, 6, 7. I guess it depends on what they do. We could also just keep the Frankie then. They discard a Mihawk to play out a Kabaji. Interessante, amigo. Interessante. That's actually fine with me then. Then we don't need to go into S-Snake just yet. So we're going to throw that to the side. We're going to go really into the Rush Ace for sure though. And then just gain a life out of the Please Save Me. 6 in the face here. Kind of wild, I'm not gonna lie to you. We could easily take this, I'm not gonna lie. But then it just stops our Shaka attack, so it's the same. It would be nice right there, I'm not gonna lie. But it stops our Shaka from attacking. If they have some way to remove Shaka, puts us in a really bad spot where we have to hold up Dawn for the Rayquaza, which I don't really enjoy. I don't enjoy it in that situation. So we need 6 to go with Ace. Let's just go 5 face to start with a little pressure inside from that. We could easily go Lilith and really pivot, keeping some Dawn active for Rayquaza. Go more into gaining life and sitting safe, which is totally an option, but it's not usually how you want to play into a Buggy deck like this. But it would be a brick out of hand and then search for another card, which is obviously always going to be good. 3, and that would leave us 4, so we could have 3, 7, 7. 3. So we could go, I think that's what we're going to do. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go 6, 6, and then, can we even swing the Shaka? Yeah, we have Vegapunk in the trash, so we can swing the Shaka. Fun fact. Fun fact. And we know we're going to gain a life, so it's going to be 3. So now we go 6, 7, right? 6, 7. 6 into our opponent, and then 7. It would have been nice to play out that ace, but we have it to basically just finish the game next turn. They're gonna have blockers on the board, but we're gonna be very safe here. Very safe altogether. The goal is just not to die. That is the goal. We could have left one Dawn, I guess. Oh, we could have left one more Dawn active, actually. It would have been nice. Not thinking too much. We're gonna go ahead and head to the top of our life, Rayquaza, and pass. So it's a great time to hit us in the face. I'm not gonna lie to you, because we're just gonna be replacing bodies with bodies anyways. You might as well. I mean, if you clear the board, it's not gonna do as much as if you, you know, does that make any sense to new players, to old players, to anybody at all? I think it's the best option here to just swing face with the Rayquaza in life for our opponent. Now, will they follow that? Probably not, because a lot of people don't know how to play into this matchup. You just hit 8 in the face here. 7 in the face. I forgot 8-7, not 7-8. This is an 8-7. 7 didn't eat 9. Come on. Hit me. Hit me. Yeah. Well, that's a misplay. We let the board go, because at that point, I mean, force them into the life later. They're going to be able to go maybe 8, because they swung 7 first. They're probably going to go 8 into Frankie, and we're fine with that at this point. 5? They're going to go 8 into something. I don't think we're worried about stopping any of their attacks. Their attacks aren't going to do anything at this point, sadly. I think we'd rather save the body at this point, because, I mean, they don't put a bunch of Dawn on Kabaji. Go for it. We have Rush on this next turn, because we are sitting at 2 or less life. We're sitting on 5k counter. We can put another Rayquaza in our life, and yeah, I think we should be good. They could go 4 and 4 here for double blockers. Then they're sitting on 3 total blockers, but then they're going to 5 cards in hand, which is not great, especially knowing we're going to be aggro next turn. We're going to be quiet aggro, my boy. What you got? What do you have for me, Buggy? They're sitting at 11 minutes on the clock. We're sitting on 15:05, guys. We don't even have to think about most things. They're going to discard. They're going to leader effect here. What are they doing? Are they going to go 5 and 5 with Galdino to get another card out of hand? That's not horrible, I guess, but I think going 8 is just stronger, guaranteeing the KO. Unless you're just trying to get cards out of my hand and maybe go for game on the next turn, but you're not in a great position to do so. They're going to go Mihawk. Dang, so the S-Snake maybe would have done something. Now, Mihawk's going to be very strong, but they could have just tapped out for 6 to do that. I don't know what they need to do for 3 unless they're playing Sanji's Pilaf here. They're not playing Sanji's Pilaf. What are we doing here? Chat, what are we doing? Well, this is a blocker, 6k blocker. So 6, 6, 6, 6. That leaves us 5. Well, 3, 1. And then we still hold the ace, and we're just going to whittle down their resources for now, and then go with ace to finish it off. So let's see how that goes. 6. What do they leave 3 Dawn active for? What is Buggy doing? 6. What? I am so lost. I'm so lost. I'm not going to hit your board. Okay, they're going to let it go. 6. I think I'm going for life. They don't have enough to remove our whole board anyways, so I'm just going to go 5 and 7. Which I know isn't the best play, but we're still going to continue going wide here. And we're not going guaranteed for lethal, because, I mean, our opponent could just be baiting us in a little bit. But I think we're in a good spot, because they can tap 5 and 5 next turn, put out a 10 drop. They swing, they get 2 bodies off the board. They go 5 in the leader. That would have to cost double swing. See, they had the counter. They may not have, oh yeah, they gave us all the 2Ks. We could have just gone 6 here, could have gone 11, but 11's not guaranteed. And the Rayquaza, I think we made this harder than we needed to, but we should still be safe. Because they can go 7 into 5. Which we let that go. They can go 5 into 5. We counter. They would have to leave the blocker up and force us to split with 2 cards. They remove 2 bodies. They go tap 5 to play out a body, and then tap 5 for a 10 drop. Then they have no cards in hand. Actually, they can't double leader effect, so they can't even play into a 10 drop here. So they can't bottom deck anything. I think it just put us in a better spot to guarantee lethal, which obviously is probably the best play. Is just don't go for lethal if you don't need to. If you can't guarantee the lethal, don't do it. Oh, 7 cost Buggy, stopping our Frankies and our Lilith from attacking. That is actually really good. That is really good here. Oh, draw 3, trash 2. So now they could 10 drop the ace, swing 7 into the Nami. We'd have to let the Nami... Oh, man. Our opponent has outplayed us. Quite a predicament, my friend. Quite a predicament. They need to guarantee or remove one of these bodies off the board, though. Because if not, they do just lose, right? Because we just go 9 and 9. Depends on what's in their hand, I guess. But if they can get rid of one of them, they're safe. Quite the predicament here, going into all these Frankies and Liliths and 6 at us. What the fuck? I straight up just said it. I don't care. Okay? Now? Like, what do you do now? I mean, like, I'm sure. Was there something better to play? I guess we could have gone into a Shocker or a Vegapunk. Vegapunk maybe could have missed, though, so probably not worth it. Shaka, probably better, but like, what? That was the, what? Oh, okay, I see what you're doing here. Hey, you're a pretty good player. You're pretty good at this. Okay, now what? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Sure. What is going on here? Do they have some crazy one Don? Do they play a law blocker or something? Like, what is about to happen to me that I'm not expecting? I'm so confused. Did they just fumble? One Don active. So we just go 11-11, right? Because they can have 4-2. Then we need a 2K of an event with 4,000 and a 1K Alvita, which is what I think is the only way they could maybe get out of it. Oh no, because we have 3 attacks here. No, we have a bunch of attacks here. Man, screw this guy. Why am I overthinking it? Why are you getting in my head, bro? Why are you getting in my head? 5? What you gonna do? Counter? It's actually best to counter small first. 6? The worst part is I don't even know if we lose on the clapback. Like if you look at this board, you're like, dang, that's crazy. I don't know if we lose. I don't even know if we actually lose. We have the Reshi, we have a blocker, we have 2 blockers, we gain a life. So we stay on 1 life, blocker, possibly 2 blockers, that's 2 life. All right, 17. What you got? I am so confused by that final play, I'm not gonna lie to you. We did almost get caught up in a very bad spot because I'm an idiot and didn't think about this Buggy right here and about our board, because I haven't played into Buggy with this deck before or had any issues with it. So, hey, GG's though to all of our opponents. Again, there's no hate in the comments for these guys. A lot of people don't know how to play against Vegapunk, which is really one of the things that pushes Vegapunk to another level, is that if you know how to play it, it's really hard to play against, especially if you don't know how to play against it, and a lot of people are still new to the new Buggy support. So again, no hate in the comments, all love for our opponents. Sometimes though, there are moments you just let out, and I thought it was kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. So thank you so much to all of our opponents. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and you are all amazing people. Thank you so much as always. Make sure to like, subscribe, join the One Piece family, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. And we're reporting live to tell you that was really cringe.